My wife screamed, "Just disappear," I calmly told her. "The movers arrive at 7. She laughed in my face. The next day, her boss called her into his office, pointed to a single file on his desk, and said, "You have one chance to explain this." When Amanda threw a wine glass at the wall and screamed, "Just disappear," I didn't flinch. I'd been hearing variations of this for months. She paced around our kitchen in her stained blouse, calling me a ghost, saying I was useless since leaving the Navy. "You think fixing computers and watching old documentaries makes you a man?" she sneered. I stood there calmly and said, "The movers arrive at 7. She stopped cold. Then she laughed, loud, theatrical laughter. "Where? Into the woods? You going to live like some crazy prepper?" She was still laughing when I walked upstairs. Behind the old clock in our hallway, I opened a hidden safe and pulled out a flash drive I'd stored 6 years ago. While Amanda watched TV downstairs, I uploaded everything. Tax records, IP registrations, the chain of custody for the pilot program she thought I'd forgotten, every login I'd authorized, every favor I'd pulled, using my military contacts to help launch her HR software company. Then I booked 3 appointments with a lawyer I'd helped years ago, a guy from my Navy days who owed me a favor, and someone who could clean systems without leaving fingerprints. That night, while Amanda slept off too much wine, I worked. I separated bank accounts, transferred utilities out of my name, terminated joint insurance, and removed her access to everything. The real move was the audit platform her company used. It was built on code I'd originally written for a defense contractor. She had the business sense, but I had the architecture and the kill switch. The next morning, while Amanda joined her video call and mocked me to her employees, "My husband thinks he's leaving me. The movers are apparently coming today." I was across town finalizing paperwork for my late brother's house, a property she'd never even heard of. I also delivered a box to her original lawyer, Elliot. Inside was the integration license with my signature, internal memos proving the algorithm was proprietary, and emails showing she'd forwarded my framework to overseas contractors. "This isn't just divorce," Elliot said quietly. "This is IP fraud." When the movers arrived at 6:57 a.m., Amanda came downstairs, furious. "You actually hired movers?" She grabbed her phone to text her friends, then noticed the envelope I'd left. Inside were time-stamped documents showing how she'd used my Defense Department contacts, copied files from my laptop while I was hospitalized, and built her entire network using my clearance. "This isn't funny," she said, her voice cracking. "I didn't pack anything that wasn't mine," I replied, walking out. At 9:06 a.m., Amanda's phone buzzed. "Urgent. CEO needs to see you immediately." In his office, her CEO slid a document across the desk, the secure roster licensing agreement with my original signature. "Explain this," he said coldly. Legal was reviewing everything. If there was any non-compliance, every contract would be frozen. By evening, her access to federal databases was revoked. Partners pulled out. Clients demanded proof of legal authorization. She drove 2 hours to the cabin address she'd found in old files, but I'd already left. A neighbor waved from across the lake. "He said you'd come. Said it'd be too late." When she called our daughter Jenna for help, Jenna's response was ice cold. "Mom, you built something on him. You used his clearance, his code, his friends, and mocked him. I watched you talk over him at every dinner." That night, Amanda received one final email from my lawyer. Subject: forwarded on behalf of Dennis Ward. Inside was a zip file containing years of evidence, referral contacts, security clearance forms she'd leveraged, offshore code transfers, even a recording of her mocking me 6 years ago saying he doesn't even know what I used. The last folder showed federal contracts her firm had secured through my veteran status, contracts I'd never formally consented to. Attached was my signed affidavit declaring breach of usage, verified and time-stamped. She returned home to find a manila envelope on her doorstep. Inside was a 6-figure check from the Department of Internal Oversight, payable to me. Memo line: confidential asset compliance honorarium. Below it, a card in my handwriting: "You asked me to disappear, so I did, and I took the walls with me."